Okay, welcome to Stampscapes Midnight Stamping here. We have a quarter page card base. Okay, I'm doing it in black. You can use any color you want though. I have a piece of, it's like a royal blue, kind of iridescent foil, okay? I don't know where I got this one. I think it came in a multicolored pack. And then I have a piece of the silver foil. And on the silver foil, hopefully you can see this, I stamped the large seaside cove. It's kind of the center section of the cove. And I've done that in a StazOn ink, okay? I'm going to color this a little bit, and hopefully you can see me doing that a little bit. It's going to be tough with this reflection, okay? But underneath the waves on here, let me see if I can show you right here. I didn't think I could do this, but I just did a little experimenting, okay? Underneath the waves right here, you can see where there's a little bit of a darker and lighter area. Those are the waves kind of coming in. And using alcohol ink over something like a StazOn, I was pretty sure that the alcohol would definitely put the StazOn solvent ink back into solution, okay? And then you would just eradicate. It was almost like you're erasing the impression off of the card. Okay. But I'm finding the StazOn's working pretty well, and maybe just doing a quick application of some of this. It's not staying wet enough to dissolve that ink, so I'm able to get some shadow work into this stamped impression here without any problems. So I just let the StazOn ink dry for a couple minutes, and I don't seem to be having any kind of problem. So I don't know if you can see that right here, but hello, Linda. I don't know if you can see that, but I've applied some like right underneath kind of the lip of the wave, so it defines the wave a little bit more. You're seeing a different version of it. Like my camera has to compensate because it's getting this glare of light up in there, okay? And then when it compensates for this down here, it's just like too dark here, so you can see it a little bit better just in person. But it looks, I don't know, it looks like that, but just, I don't know, a couple shades lighter, okay? In reality, it's really hard to take like photographs of mirrored types of things, or in this video here, it's hard for the camera to compensate correctly because the light's always changing on there. Okay, but here's my thing. On this, the alcohol ink is working beautifully on here. Now, like I said, if I put too heavy of a coat, or my pen, maybe it's super juicy, maybe it's kind of erasing some of that. But do you see this? You can see my, my waves in here a little bit more with that extra shading in there. Okay, now this is just like a medium, like a 60% gray or something like that, okay? The foil itself, the silver foil, is fairly dark, so you just have to get darker than the foil itself in order for it to show. Hello, Sherry. My midnight viewers, whatever time it is for you, unless you're in a different country and it's like morning or something. Okay, so this is my component right there, and I'm not going to make this too elaborate in terms of imagery. What I mostly want to see is I mostly want to add some paint down in these waves. So I've used the larger seaside cove, so I just have, oh, there's a better exposure for these waves. So I'm going to use a lot of it right in here. I don't want to go with that uniform because I want it to look like that light from the moon is kind of like in this center section right here. What do you want, Sherry? Are you in mountain time or something like that? Yeah, okay, so let's see. Let me get my bearings right here. Okay, let's see, something like that. Look how great that looks already. We're done. Yeah, right here. For me, it's 12 midnight. For Linda and myself. But look at that glow. Look at this beautiful glow on the horizon here using this kind of, luminous, I don't know, mid-tone blue paper. It doesn't look that great. To me, this blue looks kind of boring. I usually, if I'm stamping on something like this, I'd want it to be a little bit darker. just so that if I'm doing a nighttime scene. But, okay, you pair it with the silver foil down here, and the silver foil is reflecting light from below up like that. So look at that beautiful like horizon glow on there, like that. It could be said, you know what I mean? I'm going to use my full moon on there just to get more lighting on here for this experiment. But if we want to just use something like this foil right here and just put some stars up there, I think that would be a really fantastic look with that, like that glowing light like that. Look at this. And then when you open it up like that, you have this light kind of running across, yeah, that ocean's surface, like back into the horizon like that. And then it glows up that way. So it puts a little bit of movement into the piece. Okay, so, but this just alone for me, it's a little bit, I don't, it's not monotone anymore, but I want more texture up there. Okay, so let's use some of our Dr. Martin's bleed proof white watercolor paint. And let's just add a little bit more dynamics in terms of texturing and contrast to this background paper. Like I said, just inherently for me, it's not terribly interesting of a surface. I mean, you know, we can say it's more interesting than a white piece of paper, but as far as like reflective, you know, foils go, I don't know. I think it can use a little something. So, okay, I've been always doing like these Milky Ways back here, but let's just do some straight patterning just for something different. Okay, now I'm going to have my full moon on there too. So this is just a little bit of added texture, and I'll kind of keep it, maybe I'll keep it, you know, most of the these stars up above. Now, don't tell me that, you know, in a full moon you wouldn't be able to see the stars, which is the truth, but who cares? We're stamping. We're not, we're not photographers. So look at those stars like that too now. And look at that. They're even, is that them reflecting in the water? Did I get some on my silver? No, the silver is kind of bare like that. So see, like even these little stars are kind of reflecting down in that water down below a little bit like that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like that glow down below. You know, so I'm going to totally ruin it by putting the moon over it, but, you know, so be it. It'll still be down there a little bit. Okay, so let's position the moon roughly about like so. You want it a little bit lower on the horizon, because the lower on the horizon, the closer it is to the silver foil, and you get just a stronger reflection as a result like that, okay? Look at that. That's pretty dramatic like that, isn't it? I mean, you know, this card can almost be done like this. You know what I mean? And it's still going to be really quite dynamic as far as like a homemade card goes, I think. And it's like two stamps, you know, and one impression, little splatter painting. If you don't have the splatter, you know, you paint or something that you can splatter. Just use your white paint pen, white gel pen, whatever, and add some stars up there just by hand. It'll take you like, you know, I don't know, whatever, 30 seconds to do probably. You get a little bit more of a random patterning like this though, you know, with that splatter, which I like. And of course it's really fast to do. If you have some, I don't know who has liquid paper these days, but a lot of people have correctional pens, and sometimes they take a correctional pen and they just kind of splatter it down, and hopefully they get a nice pattern, you know. But I've known people to do that, or they'll take a correctional pen. I don't know, people are doing even correctional pens these days, but they used to take a correctional pen, take it off, and then just like maybe have another sticker pen, and then they just knock it like this. And they'd get a little bit of set splattering with that. Hello, Megan. How many states are in mountain time? Is it I know Colorado is Idaho or in mountain time? I don't think New Mexico isn't, is it? Is it just 2 states? All right, so here we go right here. What are we at right here? We're at 10-minute mark, like that, and you have this card like this. Now I did stamp out, but this is just one impression with the Seaside Cove large, like that. But look at that glow down there. I think it looks pretty good with the moon. And I'll flip off the lights and we'll take a look and see what this looks like later on. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do here. Okay, now I've been cutting off this bottom portion of my Seaside Coves. Well, that's because I wanted to put in those turtles down there too. Okay, the baby sea turtles. But I'm just going to leave this one just whole like this. And what we'll do is we'll add in some additional texturing in the form of our tiny rocks small, which I've been doing on that's what's used, like right in here, okay? And let's use that quite a bit. We just want this card to be a really pretty fast one to complete. And if you do it, I don't know, it's just kind of like a base model card construction that you can add in like a word stamp, you know, up here, like in reverse, or you can add it on the outside of your card, something like that. I was thinking about I have this humpback whale stamp kind of breaching, you know, coming out, and I thought about adding that right in here, but I thought, I want to focus on the glow and see if see how that looks in kind of a larger application, on a larger, you know, the larger Seaside Cove here. You know, it might look terrible. But so far, kind of that little bit with these smaller ones, it's working out pretty good, you know. Here, see, I was on this one right here. I was really conservative. I just added a little bit of that glow in the dark paint down there, and just a kind of a spattering of it right in there. It's barely anything. This one right here, I've used more, so it's like, okay, I'm getting more gutsy with this application. So we'll see how it looks on this. But now I know that I can just kind of go over it again with some alcohol ink, and the imagery seems to be intact. So, you know, if I paint over it some with my acrylic paint, especially before I put some powders on it, I can always kind of go into that glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint, and I can darken it some. So, I don't know, I think that's could be part of the strategy or sequencing that you do. You go in with the paint and then you tweak it, you know, if you need to, you know, if you've applied too much. Okay, so this is my tiny rock small, right? Yeah, I don't know if I can show. Okay, here we go. See that right here? But I've left this interior area really light, so I'm tapping it from the outside in, and I'm really concentrating a lot of impressions of it out here, so that it just becomes tone. And then as I doing this, I'm kind of concentrated out here, but I'm also going like stamp, 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 so that it's going from, you know, wet, medium, and dry. So it means dark, medium, and light, like that. So you get this kind of nice transitioning like that. Yeah, you know, I wanted some sharp impressions of it in there too, so I just kind of knocked it down there with the first impression. I don't know, like right around in here. Maybe not in here. But yeah, there you go, like that. All right, so let's see how that looks, if anything, like that. Okay. See this right here, where this line goes down like that. Let's obscure some of this. I wasn't going to do this, but let's do it. It needs some of that obscuring imagery on the side here. Let's just do what I've been doing on these other ones. I've just been adding in these reeds on both sides. 215. There, Megan. I don't go to sleep. For me, I go to sleep like around 3. I used to do these kind of midnight lives a little bit more often. Some people would be joining on a lot of times from like the UK or you know, sometimes we get, you know, other European, but sometimes Australia too. And for them, you know, it's just like, I don't know, like morning or something like that, or, you know, kind of mid-afternoon type of thing. All right, so there's some reeds down here. I didn't go too far up there, but I just got rid of the widest portion of this portion, like right here, reflecting in this area. So I'll show you what I mean here. I don't try to well, sometimes I try to, you know, cover it up completely, but so this right here, you put some of this stuff here, right down in here, and it kind of obscures this harsh kind of wedgy look to that area where, you know, this going back and coming out in perspective kind of creates like that, okay? All right, so that moon sure is reflecting pretty well in there. All right, let's see how this goes with some of this paint. So now, if this wasn't glow-in-the-dark paint, if that was just like a white moon or something like this, I probably would be using something like a white pigment ink down here and adding this kind of frothing, you know, crest of the wave type of look or whatever, and then I would spray seal this, okay? But this is the, you know, whatever, the glow-in-the-dark tests that we're doing here. So glow-in-the-dark paint and the glow-in-the-dark powder. I don't know if I need both, but I've done tests of this paint alone in just a really thin coat, which I'm doing here. I don't want a really thick coat of it, but I think that the powder in conjunction with the paint just strengthens the glow a lot more. And plus, I mean, it kind of, it relates to this idea of, you know, that foamy top of the wave anyway. So it doesn't look too kind of like nuts in just normal light. You know what I mean? We're doing this for the purpose of how it's going to look, you know, with the lights off, with, you know, charged up with light. But I don't know. The thing that I'm always thinking about, though, is, well, how is it going to look, you know, when it's not dark and glowing? You know what I mean? Because we want it to look, you know, a little bit, you know, decent. Chances are, if you give this card to someone, they're going to be looking at it more in regular light than, you know what I mean, than, you know, checking it out in the, you know, glow time or whatever. Unless you give it to a kid, you know, they'll probably be, you know, checking it out at least for a couple days. They get completely bored with it, you know what I mean? Then the novelty's gone. But like I said, you know, someone kind of, you know, some kid kept it next to their bed. You know, I might be thinking of me as a kid in the 70s or, you know, or something like that. But I don't know if a kid would do that anymore. They just assume, like, you know, playing with their whatever iPad next, you know. But anyway. Okay, so right here, I'm going to try. Okay, so here's these little waves like this, okay? I'm going to try to put most of the this paint on the upper end side of it, you know what I mean? And then I'll transit. I don't want to just do a slathering of this whole area in here equally. So mostly on the tops of the waves. And then, you know, these waves get a little bit thinner, narrower, and I'll try to create a little bit of patterning going back up towards that moon like that. That's the theory, you know. How it if it work if it works in application Florida, you're on Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Oh my God, Catherine, you know, are you up at this time normally, or did you get up? You know, she got the notification bell that we're on. And what's more important, you know, Stampscapes live stream or sleep, you know. Okay, so here we go. This might be easier to do than the smaller one though, because I can kind of scumble it on, you know, and it might be kind of more natural in a larger kind of wave. Okay, I'm going to try to do this too. Okay, so see this where it's kind of stronger here. I'm going to try to dissipate it or, you know, transition it from the center area. You know what I mean? Where when there's a light source, it's kind of like coming down this way. So it's like lighter here and darker out this way. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So it's like highlighting. It's working from the inside. And then as you go out, you know, you can use a little bit of a, you know, a smaller application of it, do a lighter touch maybe. I did a card earlier today and I forgot to clean out my brush, but the acrylic dried pretty, you know, not thoroughly, but it dried quite a lot, but I was able to get it out of the brush, you know, just a few minutes ago. It was like, oh, thank God. I don't wash, I'm not in the habit of washing my brushes too often because usually the only thing I'm using is Dr. Martin's. And that you can just, you know, let dry completely and it'll wash right out of the brush with no problem. But, you know, the acrylics, no. All right. I'm finding this easier to do on this larger Seaside Cove this time than the smaller one. The smaller one, you know, the waves are just so much more condensed and smaller, so. Okay, let's see this right here. This is kind of a little bit of a flat brush too, by the way. You know, it's hard to tell if I'm getting what I kind of is ideal because I'm not seeing it. I should work under a black light or something like that. Yeah, because I don't know the strength of this right now. I mean, I can turn off the lights and I can check it out then, but it's hard to tell as I'm doing this. All right, see something like that. So see, it's breaking up the imagery of the moon too, which is good because we want there to be like some surface on here. It looks like I can go with more right in this area, a little bit of a stronger application under that moon, maybe. People were seeing those northern lights from this last weekend and all the way in Florida, I think. I think I saw a photo. It's like, what the heck? So I guess, you know, people wouldn't be able to see it with the naked eye, but, you know, it's like the, I guess the camera or something like that picks it up. Or they can see something going on, but maybe not the colors or something like that. I think it was, at least in that photo. So I think someone mentioned something like that on Facebook. Okay, so kind of adding in this paint, you know, it is an acrylic and it's going to dry a little bit or a lot more transparent than what it looks like when it's freshly applied. So it is getting a little bit more see-through. It's almost like, I almost feel like I'm painting with like Elmer's glue in a way here. So just, I don't know, maybe I'll go with about maybe 3 thin layers I'm thinking on here. It's roughly about, okay, I think I can go a little bit more on this front one here. I need to be more gutsy down here. Or, I don't know, whatever, aggressive with the front one. The front wave is just so much bigger than the others. Okay, so that's like that. Let me try to get, as I'm doing this too, I'm thinking I need to get this paint or the powder laid down on here before this paint dries. I think it's already dry in a lot of areas, so this is probably not going to stick to it, but maybe that's fine. Maybe it's going to be concentrated in kind of the thicker areas on here. This feels really weird putting that paper down on this, like a card like this, like a mirrored surface like this. I'm getting like flashbacks of watching like movies in the like the, I don't know, whatever, the 80s and 90s with the, you know, people putting some kind of white powdered surface on a mirror. I don't know what that substance was, by the way, because I'm too innocent to know such a thing. Okay, so see this right here? You get all this kind of residual powder on there. Like that. Just take a brush or whatever and just kind of whisk it off. Like so. You don't have to get all of it off, but it clumps in some areas, so I think it's good to get kind of the bulk of the unintentional whatever over, you know, not spray, but pour, I don't know, whatever, pour off of there. Like about like so. I have a feeling that I should probably use, I haven't done it on my other 2 cards yet, but I have a feeling I should probably use a spray fixative on this afterwards. So maybe having some of that residual little bit of glow-in-the-dark powder like in some of these other areas and sealed down with the spray fixative would be, you know, good. So I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not trying to get all of it off, but I don't want it like just absolutely filled in between these 2 areas, you know, with the light, like a light dusting like it has. Okay, because I do want some differentiation between these, you know, kind of whatever ripples or waves like that. All right, so this is what we have now, right here, like so. Okay. And okay, now I'm looking at that powder right here. This right here, this is too harsh right there. Okay, so I'm gonna make my tweaks here. Okay, let's see. Let me go in right here. I'm not even applying. I'm going into this powdered area, and it's like I'm not even laying down. Okay, here we go. I had to get through some of that powder right over there. Yeah, it just ended too abruptly. Like right, you know, right there. So, okay, so question is, do I use the powder on there again, or yeah, might as well. Unlike those, you know, movies where they're putting some kind of mysterious powder on a mirror, this is not, you know, whatever, thousands of dollars an ounce. All right, let's see. going like that, like so. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And we'll check it out like this. All right. It's one of those bioluminescent nights, of course. All right. Like that. Okay, now let's tweak it now. Let's, we have this, you know, fairly harsh application. As light and airy as I try to make it, I mean, that does really stand out against this, you know, this foil quite a bit. So let's go in with our just white paint pen. If you have a white gel pen, it should do the trick. Yeah, don't you like that blue paper in there, Megan? I was saying that it's just it's a boring paper kind of for me, but having that kind of that change in lighting on it, you know, with the silver reflection coming off, it's really giving a really nice look to it, I think. Sometimes I have insomnia. I'll try to put you to sleep in no time here, Catherine. Just, you know, just listen to my voice here for like 2 minutes. When I watch some of my videos, you know, when I'm editing, I get, you know, I get lulled to sleep. I have to go get like coffee. While I want my cards to be dynamic, I really don't put any effort into making the video, the instructional videos, you know, terribly dynamic. So I apologize for that. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this. I need a little bit more opacity here. This is really powdered right here, so this might clog up a little bit from time to time during the whatever the dotting process right here. Jigsaws of a horse galloping along a shoreline at night. Oh, that would be an awesome visual there. Yeah, we need to do that. I need to use the Seaside Cove small and then have like, and this will be the perfect paper for it too, I think, right here. And then have like, I don't know, how would that look? Or, if I stamp it here, would that be too flat looking? I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. That's a really great visual though. I think it'd be a really cool visual to have that person kind of like, they can be, the waves can be right here, but they can be like down here or something like that. And then we can have like, create like little splashes or something like that with a little splatter painting around the feet of the horse. I've done that before, not on reflection cards, but I often put like someone going out for like a night ride or something like that, you know. And it might be on a lake or something like that. I think that's what Deanna Tubbs-Cedillo, one of the things that got her, I don't know, she told me early on, one of her things that, you know, she was watching was, I don't know, she came across this one video of mine called like Night Rider or something like that. And it's this lady on horse, but she's going for a kind of a moonlit ride, you know, and I think there was a full moon or something like that. I don't know, that resonated with her or something like that, she mentioned. Okay, so see, I'm creating these little splashes coming up from there just to kind of transition from, you know what I mean? It's kind of a bulky, kind of unrelated texture on here from using the paint and then the glow powders. You know what I mean? And it's such a smooth, glistening surface like that. It's kind of it's a pretty harsh type of whatever medium and mark to put on this paper. So I'm I'm just trying to transition it out like that. See this right here where it's like thick right here, but I'm putting these dots on there and I'm kind of transitioning it outward like that and just ending it like that. I have a feeling that I probably should go, you know, fairly high in the composition because that's what you often see, but I don't know. I don't want it to interfere too much with the moon, or I don't know if it would. Maybe it'll look good, you know, to have some of those, that moon's reflection down here, have, you know, having some of that texture on there, you know, to differentiate it from sky, you know, sky and surface having, you know, it's a mirrored version of it, but you want them somewhat different. So, you know, so there's a little bit of variation like that. Okay, so we have something like that. It looks really harsh like that, but let's take a look and see if it works. I should have been checking, but okay, I don't like that up there. That looks really bad, doesn't it? Silver foil, one of the like most user-friendly things. Now that's on there really good, but like this right here. So, I mean, it wasn't, you know, if I touch this right here, it's not coming off, but if you want to take any of it off, it's almost like, you know, just kind of buffing it off of like a mirrored surface, so it's like no problem. And it probably comes off a little bit easier, you know, at when it's wet, but you can still take it off, you know, even if it's dry. Okay, like that. Okay, so see, I just removed all those dots right up there with no problem. They stood out too much right up here, you know, so I guess this looks pretty good right in here where that moon starts. So see this right here? So see those textures? I'm looking right down here where you have those textures going across that moon's reflection. I think those look pretty decent. Okay. And it's the moment of truth. Okay, so let me see here. Let me go ahead and I was wondering if it was time. Let me go ahead and this is still a little bit powdery. I might want to spray seal this off before I lock it into place right here, but I'll lock this one into place right now. Okay. So this is a stiff enough cardstock. It's really, you know, thick, where I just use my tape runner. When it's that thinner type of stock, like the antique vintage papers, you know, it's just like text weight paper, and things like the printable vinyl sticker paper, those are really thin. Sometimes it's better to use a spray adhesive to adhere your pieces into the card base, just so it doesn't get floppy kind of later on. Okay. All right, and let's go like this. Okay, I'm going to charge this up with some light. I have a swing arm lamp here. And I don't have to charge up too long, I don't think. This one should be even less, but the other cards have been working pretty decent with just a little bit of charge. You can almost see it glowing like right now. Okay, let me see if we can do this right here. Okay, this is a little bit bowed. Maybe I should tack this one down. I don't want to do that because see, if I press on this right here, this powder is going to come off. So here, let me just try to get this at a good angle here for you guys. Okay, let's go like this. It's usually at roughly like a 45 or something like that. Okay, let me flip off the lights. Let's take a look here. How's it looking so far? Okay, let me go with one last charge here. I don't know if it needs an initial charge or something like that, but like that. And it kind of looks cool like that, huh? Just with like one light on it. All right, let's see here. I can't really see the Lakeside Cove too much, maybe. But there's that light on the surface. Oh, here we go. Like that. So here's the benefit with silver right here. The silver is more reflective, so I guess it's picking up any light. Let me see what it looks like here. This looks different than what I'm looking at because my camera's compensating for it a little bit. But see right up there, you can see some of those stars too. But there's those waves against that that moon reflection right there. I think that looks pretty decent. I don't know. What do you guys think? What time are we at right here? It's like 40 minutes or something like that. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty decent card. I'm trying to decide if it is better with the silver down here or if I should go with, more like that pearl paper because it's a lighter paper. So this area right here might be a little bit more illuminated. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Let me flip on the lights here again. That. A lot of lights on this. All right, so anyway, that is another version of the card. It'd be cool to put like something right in here. There's this movie that I really like called The Big Blue, and the movie poster had this guy swimming underneath. It wasn't a full moon or anything like that, but there was just like illuminated ocean. And it was this swimmer, and then there was this dolphin kind of jumping over him. And I was thinking about doing something like that. That was, I don't know, the inspiration for this piece. I was going to do something else tonight, but I thought, I was thinking of that Big Blue poster, and I wanted to try something in the spirit of that. But I don't know, this paper right here, this is a pretty good combination going with that bluish tinge paper up there. Here, let me move. This is my swing arm light. Actually, the swing arm light's kind of creating a cool little horizon glow down there, that reddish tinge for some reason. But I don't know, it's a good base here. I think, if like a sailboat was in here or something like this, or I don't know, you can put like islands out here. I wanted to do one of my new lakeside cozy, lakeside cabins like right over here, and then I put this over here or something like that. Again, but I wanted to see what this would look like right in here. So anything right up here on the horizon line would look really cool. Any type of island thing or cabins or, something. It could be another part of the land that's just wrapping around, or it could represent some other islands out in the distance like that. I guess you can do trees, something like that would be cool. I don't know. Let's see. I love these glow-in-the-dark cards. Yeah. Fabulous way to make waves. It was a pretty fun, experiment here on the waves. I had a little bit more to work with the large seaside cove, but I think what I need to do too, if I do this again, I'm going to put a deeper shadow underneath here. This is all kind of grainy with a lot of powder right now, so I don't want to go over it with my pen. I guess I could, but going a little bit of a deeper shadow in there to give a little bit more mass to those waves, I think would be cool. When you have that much of a like a highlight in there, then sometimes you want to put an equal amount of, or a kind of a It doesn't have to be an equal amount, but kind of a little bit more. Yeah, let me try this right here. Sometimes you want to go with a little bit more of a balanced kind of shadow too underneath. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that at all. But I don't know. I didn't use black underneath here. So if I used black, I think I would have to use my blender pen in there. But yeah, there's those little things like that. I don't know. You can tell. I don't know if you can tell, but I put a little bit more of a shadow underneath those lips of those waves. Actually, I'm not sure if that's the shadow or if that's just the reflection of the moon giving it that shaded look right in those areas like that. But it's pretty fun stuff. My hands were glowing in the dark today. It sounds like you're having some fun there. Glow really works great for moonlight effects. Yeah. I was thinking about doing some other kind of glow-in-the-dark stuff, and I was thinking about it without, just a standard card, not doing a reflection card. But that reflection area, when we have this kind of glowing thing like that, it makes such a nice complement or additional whatever element component for these glow-in-the-dark areas, I think. And you saw it earlier, too. You know what I mean? If you want to go really minimal, this doesn't have to be a seaside cove down here. This could just be a body of water, with a few trees up here or something like that. But you saw how great those, like, splatter-painted stars up there reflected down. Now, this area down here is a little bit too busy for, in order to see those reflections of those little stars. But I don't know. I'll have to do this again sometime, but just put some imagery up here, reflecting down here, and then have those stars in the sky reflecting down here. Maybe I'd make a couple of them a little bit bigger and maybe a couple of them glowing a little bit more, with the little white pigment and the cotton ball. But I think I've come up with a pretty good way for me to utilize that particular paper in there. Like I said, I wasn't totally enamored with it in the past. I liked the other one a little bit more that was kind of darker, but I don't know. I really like this look on here against this. That's the way that this paper looks right here, by the way. But I really like how it looks with the, with the silver foil reflecting back up in there. It gives it that really nice glow in there, that horizon glow like that. And just variation to it. It's kind of a graduated value scheme going from dark to light like that when you have this reflecting light shining up into it from the bottom like that. Let's see. You can send me some screenshots of the puzzle. Okay, yeah. I'd love to see it, Horsey Girl. But as for me creating it, won't be for a while, as I haven't long moved. Well, maybe I can try to create it for you. Yeah, the horse running on the moonlight with the waves is really fun. I used to do that with. I used to like doing like Northern Lights or something like that, or scenes of these wolves that I have running at night. And I don't think I ever had them running along like a lake or something like that. But I have these new horses coming out too. That would be really fantastic. Or just a horse. I have this new one that's like standing in the water, kind of drinking some water. That would be really awesome. Like if this was a lake or something like that, I would put that horse like right in here, right in the reflection of that moon on that water. I think that'd be really cool. And that's one of the new designs coming out. I would use the larger one, I think. So anyways, so these glow-in-the-dark things, this is like prepping us really nice. I was talking to mention this to Linda earlier, but someone mentioned it in the comment on Facebook too. They wanted to get some good ideas for glow-in-the-dark applications for their Halloween cards. And I thought, oh yeah, the glow-in-the-darks for Halloweens would be really cool. And I don't know, really cool applications. So we can come up with some different things. It'd be interesting to figure out how to do like, maybe we do like a cotton ball, really light application of, if we can, I don't know if this is just too wet to do this, but I think we can do like a dry brush effect, going into a cotton ball and then tapping some of this and building up like a mistier cloud type of area that would glow. And that might be pretty interesting to utilize in terms of a different look on there. I don't know. I need to try different approaches with these types of thick paints. I've been using thin inks, in the past, but I don't know if we can utilize this to, cool effect. That'd be really nice. And the thing about this one, though, it's kind of weird because I can get those kind of cloudy effects, I'm sure, if I dilute this. But the problem is with diluting it, it's not going to retain any light, for that glow-in-the-dark effect. So you have to apply it pretty thick. But how do you get a nice, really glowing, glow-in-the-dark effect, for something that represents something as thin and kind of delicate as mist or, clouds or something like that? I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. Maybe it's a combination of that and the powders or something. So, but I think that'll be really cool. Okay, so it's other things too. So I'm just thinking about this off of my head. If we're using like cotton balls, then you kind of dip this into, some of this paint right here and then tap a lot of the paint off. And then you kind of put a light tapping of it around, some of these stars like that, or it could be fireflies, or something like that. But we do it with the paint, maybe. I don't know. We'll try to create some cool little effects, so that we can be creating our own like velvet blacklight posters in no time. All right, folks. Hope you are able to get a good night's sleep. Is that Catherine's still here? I didn't put her. In a coma here with this video here. In the hour it is out that way, but glow-in-the-dark paint splatters quite well. Okay. Now, I tried that before, Linda, but it didn't glow for me because the dots were too small. Are they retaining the light for you? I thought I tried it before, but I thought I couldn't even see it because the dots were just too small, like if it was like that. When I was trying to charge it up with light, I don't remember if I could see it, though. When I flipped off the lights, it was just too thin of an application. Maybe it's just this one. I don't know, but I thought I tried it with something, and I didn't think it retained light. Beyond if it did, it like I couldn't see it after like a couple seconds or something like that. After the charge of light. So I don't remember. You'll have to let me know. We'll experiment around. We got to get this nailed down, Linda, in terms of some really great techniques with the media and the papers and vinyls and all that type of thing. I couldn't see the dots until I charged them. And okay, great. Well, maybe that's even better. It's like a surprise type of texturing in there. Is that the file that you sent to me then? Was that splattered too? Huh. I don't know, check everyone's Linda's experiments out on the Facebook Stampscapes group. Are you going to post those little experiments like that too, Linda? Yeah, I don't know if you did it, but yeah, maybe post that that photograph that you sent to me on the group. Maybe we should create like a glow in the dark folder or something, huh? With the we can compile some different ideas in there. All right, folks, so real bare piece. I think when I post a photo of this, I think I'm going to stamp something up in the corners right here. I'll kind of tweak this and I'll play around with it a little bit. Maybe a little word stamp here in white or something like that on the outside would be kind of cool, or like a ship on the horizon or something like that might be interesting. The Flying Dutchman. All right, have a great rest of evening. And the pick was not good. Try again. Okay, yeah, post that. All right, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining in.